Welcome to Metaphysics My Perspective. This is going to be a general love reading for Libra for the month of September 2022. Alright, so the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to title this reading, How Do They Feel About You Currently? So I'm going to be asking a few different questions. And so the first, we'll go with couples first. Archangel Michael, connect me to the collective energy of Libra. How does Libra's significant other feel about them currently? How does Libra's significant other feel about them currently in love? How does Libra's significant other feel about them currently in love? How does Libra's significant other feel about them currently in love? Strengthening bonds. So either you're doing this right now, Libra, for the ones of you that are in a coupled relationship, or they feel like that they want to do this with you. So usually when this card comes out, that's just basically what it means. It's simple. When you look at the, you've got one. So this can represent you in singularity or your person. So again, one or both of you feel like that you need to strengthen the bonds, or this is their intention at this time, or they feel like this is what is occurring. And as you see, it's got one person in the card. So sometimes it can also be strengthening bonds between you and your creator, or whatever it is you believe and how you associate that. But it could be, when you look at the golden light, they can represent spirit. They could see you as this way, strengthening your own bonds, or you're doing something together that could strengthen the bonds through you. Now this could be, getting married. This could be working together on a project, something like that. But in this card, it's basically showing one person, so it could just be you or them. Okay. How else does Libra's significant other feel about them currently? How else does Libra's significant other feel about them currently? Simply love. Now for some of you that are in a committed relationship, you see a guy with his father. So let's look at it this way. Perhaps this is your perception. So in your love relationship, it may be you working on yourself and strengthening your bonds, or you could be seeing, your husband or your boyfriend, or however, whatever's going on in your situation, strengthening bonds with your children or their kids or their son or whatever. And it could be, and just, switch it around to whatever resonates. All right, sorry about that unexpected phone call. So anyway, what I was saying was, by doing this work, this will allow you to, it's going to take dedicated effort in order to get to that, situation in your relationship if you're not already doing it. So you need to work on this crown and unblock the crown. It's going to require dedicated effort. This will allow you to strengthen the bonds within yourself, bring back the nostalgia of the childhood, and then this will allow you to simply love without ulterior motives. Now, if you are coupled, which this part of the reading is a coupled reading, then this, by doing all this, like I was saying, these steps, you will be able to simply love, with that of a child, and attract a more harmonious relationship. Or it will allow this relationship, if you both do this together, to be that, free of ulterior motives, and then you will be able to experience the definition of real divine love, and not something that that's physically based in this universe and has ulterior motives, and really is not what I would define as real love. So that's what I have for the couples. Now hopefully that resonated. If it did resonate, you have comment, let me know if you're going through that. But also, if you're looking for a personal reading or anything like that, everything would be in the description box. Just the arrow below the, when you look at the title, the arrow there, you click on that and whatever, and most people know what the description box is, but this will help you identify with that. All right, so for single Libras, what does single Libras need to know in regards to love at this time? What do single Libras need to know in regards to love at this time? What do single Libras need to know for? Choose your battles. So Libra at this time, if you're going through battles, or if you are, the opposite of Libra is Aries. So Aries is all about war. And so that shadow side of you, which when I say opposites, what I'm basically saying is it's another part of you that you have the ability to harness this energy as well. So your shadow self would be Aries, basically. And if you're dating an Aries, or you're dating your opposite, then at this time we're going through Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, I think, and Jupiter retrograde. But the Mercury retrograde at this time could be suggesting to suggest your, not suggest, choose your battles. And I pulled this card for people before, and a lot of times, the card sits there and tells them, it's right in their face, choose your battles, and it's like they don't even pay attention to it. You need to pay attention to this, because some of these battles that you're having, or that, potentially that you will have, or are going to have in this cycle or in this period, could be from miscommunication. And so you need to be, act wise and choose those very, choose with wisdom, and make sure if they're really worth fighting for, because you know how it is when you say certain things to certain people. Sometimes it's not always the best thing to do. People just, you can just ruin potential relationships for saying the wrong thing because you didn't act accordingly, or act from a place of wisdom. So what else does Libra singles need to know in regards to love relationships at this time? What else does Libra singles need to know in regards to love relationships at this time? Rest and reconsider. So, it's telling a story. So, if you're, whichever Libras that I am connected to at this time, understand that, you may be feeling like you want to fight or be in an argument with someone, but it could be just because you haven't had enough rest, or vice versa, for cross watchers as well. So, and they're even in the same element. This is two cards, with the same colors. Purple, that's divine messages, it deals with the crown chakra. So, or the spiritual aspect of you. So you might want to rest and rethink things before you, go about fighting with someone, because then you could say something that, that you don't really, that you shouldn't say at this time. So, I know I'm connected to some because it's Mercury retrograde, and I know this is for some of you Libras out there, / Aries, whatever. Alright, so after you rest and reconsider, you need to listen. You need to listen to what the other party's saying. Listen to yourself. Listen to your inner guidance, your inner wisdom. And this goes, some of you may be separated at the time. You may be single at the time, but, it could be, all this could lead up to you being single, or you're going to be single because you didn't pay attention. So, and there could be a potential relationship on the horizon with somebody, if you just listen and actually take, your time and rest and, reconsider and choose your battles. What else does Libra need to know in regards to this relation or love reading at this time? What else do single Libras need to know in regards to love at this time? Balance. So it's telling a story. So Libra, balance card basically is the sign of the scales, and that's your symbol. So whenever you rest to reconsider, you achieve, you listen to your inner guidance, your divine self, through meditation, whatever else, you will achieve balance. The masculine and feminine within yourself. And then you'll be able to choose your battles and come from a place of wisdom. Alright? And then as you're balanced, you can attract another balanced partner. So this is basically giving you steps to do to just at this time, and this is for September, so it's going to be a hectic month. With retrograde already in effect. I've already had a few of these issues myself, And also, like my internet, everything's out, which Mercury retrograde affects all forms of communication. So electronic communication, and I can tell you right now, if it's making internet servers go down, if it's responsible for that, then it's going to be affecting the whole collective the same way. So this may be going on for you at this time, and so you might want to actually watch this reading and actually listen to it and heed the advice. But that's pretty much what I have for you, Libra, and I will try to do the timestamps for couples and singles. So hopefully this resonated. If it did, make sure you please drop a like, subscribe, share, whatever, the routine, and help get these messages out to other people that might be going through these similar situations. Because the only way to do that is like the video. When you like the video, it gets it out to more Libras. And so this is not a time to be really selfish. It's you got to think how many other people could be going through the same thing as you, and you may not care about anybody else in the world but yourself, but understand that all Libras share the same energy. So it's just like a pebble. When you throw a pebble into a pond, it affects the whole collective. Same thing goes with here. So it gets the reading out there, and it can save a lot of other Libras and other possible relationships and things like that. And then it also brings in good karma as well, because you're working with the universe. So all right, so that's all I have for you for September 2022, Libra. Can't even talk, see what I mean? And I hope you have a great rest of your month, and thank you for watching. Also, with the Simply Love card, this can also be telling you that you need to bring the innocence of your childhood or whatever back into the relationship. Now, this can be a time of nostalgia when you're looking back at a relationship and being like, wow, I remember when it was like this. We were, two dumb kids in love. This is just a potential possible scenario. But it could also be suggesting that you need to do that. Back to a time where everything was innocent before there was any ulterior motives. And and nowadays in relationships we see so many reasons for why people get together. Money, codependency, I need help with this, I need help with that, and a lot of the innocence and everything that makes relationships about purity and bliss and just everything it is in the bubble love phase, or how it is when you first meet, tends to deteriorate throughout time because other things come in. Or with the generations now, there's always these motives that people have. People are raised, my sister even told me years ago, people get married for different reasons. Well, I don't always see that it should be that way. I'm one that actually finds that if you want a real love relationship or harmony and bliss in a relationship, that you should, be like kids in there and enjoy how it was, when you didn't have a bunch of things to worry about or whatever. Okay. So give me a potential outcome if Libra takes this advice. Give me a potential probable outcome for this love relationship if Libra takes that advice. What is a potential outcome if Libra takes this advice for this relationship? What is the potential probable outcome for Libra in this relationship? What is a potential outcome for Libra in this relationship? Let me I'm going to do a shuffle real quick, Libra, to mix these cards in. Another shuffle. Be careful when you purchase tarot cards for you readers that do this, because some of these cards are just not meant to be shuffled. They have this gold whatever this stuff is on it. It can cause issues with trying to shuffle them. Okay, so now that they're shuffled, let me ask that question again. They were shuffled before, but I just wanted to make it clear that I was doing it again, so that, you know, if you see the pause in the reading, you know what I'm doing. Alright, so what would be a potential outcome in this relationship for Libra if they took the advice from the advice given in this reading? What is a potential outcome for this relationship for Libra? What is a potential outcome for this relationship for Libra? The same card came out again. Now, see, I shuffled and it came out again. So Libra, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. It came out before, but then I shuffled because I didn't want to give you the chakra card. So basically, it's telling me that, you know, either one or both of you need to work on your crown chakra. Now, the strengthening bonds, you could say that if, you know, Spirit could be telling you need to work on this. If you're doing any type of spiritual work or anything right now, or if you're trying to strengthen the bond or the connection within yourself, or it could be suggesting that in order to have the best outcome in this relationship, you need to work on your crown chakra, because when you work on your crown chakra, that allows the divine to flow through you. And so then you can get insight and messages in regards to that. So this would help strengthen the bonds, and that's what I was telling you about God, like the gold energy or the universal energy here. So by working on that, this would make this a possibility. But you could be doing this. I mean, some of you Libras could be doing this, for the ones coupled, could be doing this right now. But if you're wondering how to do that, not everybody's crown chakra opens, you know, in this lifetime. Just simply because they're not meant to connect to Spirit in that way. Mine is open, and when it is open, you almost feel like an air conditioner or an opening above your head or around your. It's like your aura is open. You feel like almost like an air conditioner just blowing on you. Even if you're standing still and there's no wind blowing, that's what it'll feel like. So that allows you to, you know, get messages from the divine. And a lot of people have always said you need to bring God into the relationship, or the universe into the relationship, because adding a spiritual component to a physical relationship allows for balance and harmony. So in order to work on that, you can learn how to do this yourself, look it up, or you can just go on YouTube and listen to it. That helps. I do recommend various types of energy work to open your chakras and balance them properly. You can use a pendulum to do that. All that stuff can be found, you know, Google or any search engine that you use. For the most part, you know, whatever way works for you would be best. A very simple way, like I said, you know, on YouTube, you can get on there and just search for crown chakra music. That'll balance that out. And it also clears away any negative stuff that you have in regards to relationships or, you know, pessimism or anything like that. So what else does Libra need to know in regards to an outcome for this relationship? What would be a possible outcome for this relationship for Libra? What would be a possible outcome for dedicated effort? So, all right, so I'm basically doing 4 cards for the couples. Or the ones in a couple relationship. Now, some of you singles, you might identify with this too. You know, Spirit tells you what they want you to know during these readings. So it's not always going to be the way that I direct it, or that I have it laid out or planned, because, you know, Spirit has a mind of its own, if you will. So by doing this, you know, if this is going on, you know, simply love. That's one of the key components. That's just, you know, it's basically saying with this card, just cut out everything that doesn't work and just go back to that innocence of the childhood. You know, and the thing about that is when you let Spirit in, or you let the divine in, if you look at the innocence of a child, or how you were when you know, before, you know, children grew up and the ego was formed, the innocence of anyone like that is true love without, you know, motives or ulterior motives. And sadly, today love is not really, you know, it's not demonstrated in a lot of relationships. It's, you know, like I said, there's always a motive for that, and then people don't even really get to experience what the real love is and what it feels like. Sorry about that. 1 second, Libra.